In addition to knowing a lot of martial arts masters, he has a huge following in the martial world. Abducting Uncle Hector will not be a problem with his help. What do you plan to do? Trent wanted to know. A magician never reveals their secret. Kate gave him a mysterious smile and said, "Dad, why don't you rest in the living room? I'll be back soon." She left as soon as she said that. After half an hour, Kate knocked on Vlad's door with a plate of steaming ravioli in her hands. "Kate, what brings you here?" Vlad's eyes lit up as soon as he opened the door. Kate was very pretty as she inherited the good genes of the Harmon family. Her looks and physique were exquisite. For a hot-blooded young man, she was definitely a huge temptation. "Vlad, I heard that you were injured yesterday. I came here to see you." Kate flashed him a seductive smile and walked into his room without waiting for his invitation. She put down the plate of ravioli and cutlery on the table and said, "I think you look hungry. Here, I made these myself. Come try it." "Is that so? I must really savor it then." Vlad immediately sat down with a grin and started stuffing his face. He kept his eyes on his future sister-in-law as he ate the ravioli. He appeared very greedy as he looked at Kate's voluptuous body up and down with his burning gaze. "How do you like the dish?" Kate acted as if nothing was happening and smiled brightly as she sat beside Vlad. "It's really good. You make really good ravioli." Vlad nodded vigorously with a face filled with anticipation. Since they were sitting closely, he could clearly smell Kate's fragrance. It was very irresistible. "I'm happy that you like it. I'll make more when I'm free," Kate said with a smile. "Thank you, Kate." Vlad swallowed his saliva as his eyes shone brightly. He had seen many pretty women. However, he had never met a vixen like Kate. She knew how to flaunt her charm to its peak. The most important thing was this exceptional beauty before him was his future sister-in-law. The real abyss of desire was the excitement of committing the forbidden. It was tempting. Kate suddenly let out a sad sigh. "What's the matter? Is there anything bothering you?" Vlad asked. "It's nothing. Please enjoy your meal. It's just a small issue." "It's nothing." Kate forced a smile, pretending to be reluctant. It would be very suspicious if she asked for help directly. But, if the other party insisted on finding out, it'd be a different scenario. "Kate, we're family. Please tell me if something is troubling you. I'll definitely help." Vlad appeared to be very sincere, placing a hand on his chest. "It's fine. You're injured. I shouldn't trouble you." Kate shook her head pitifully. "Kate, what are you talking about?" Vlad put down his fork. He said unhappily, "What do you mean trouble me? Are you looking down on me or what? Do you think I'm useless and couldn't help you?" "Oh no, I didn't mean that." Kate waved her hand. "Kate, if you think of me as family, please tell me what's on your mind. As your brother-in-law, I promise I will make sure your problem is properly resolved," Vlad said confidently. "Vlad, will you really help me?" Kate appeared extremely touched. "Of course. You're my sister-in-law. I will always help you," Vlad said candidly. "Please don't make fun of me when I tell you my problem. It's actually related to Uncle Hector." Kate sighed and continued, "Even though my father is the family's head, Uncle Hector holds the real power. My uncle is overly ambitious and deceptive. He has always wanted to be the head. He has tried all the tricks in the book and used a lot of despicable maneuvers to rise to power. He doesn't see us as his family at all. My father is kind and would never be able to fight my uncle. He is left with no choice. He cries every day and has even considered suicide. I could feel his pain as a daughter. However, I'm weak and can't rise against my uncle. I could only be patient and hope for the best." When she finished speaking, Kate let out a long and sorrowful sigh. "This Uncle Hector of yours is too shameless. He's worse than a dog." Vlad slammed his hand on the table in anger. He was indignant. "I'll let the bygones be bygones. However, my uncle is getting worse lately." Kate continued to add fuel to the fire and made herself the victim. "My uncle stole our family heirloom and used it to threaten my father to surrender his position as the family head. If we don't get the family heirloom back, death will be my father's only option. We have no one else to turn to." Kate started sobbing as she spoke. Her pitiful appearance with teary eyes was truly heart-wrenching. Vlad's instinct to protect was immediately ignited. He stood up suddenly and said with conviction, "Kate, don't you worry. I'll take care of this for you. I'll send someone to capture Hector Harmon and interrogate him. I will make him surrender the family heirloom and deliver justice to you. Vlad, my uncle is cunning and is protected by a competent martial arts master year-round. It's very difficult to capture him," Kate sighed. "He's only a despicable man. I never saw him as a worthy opponent," Vlad said proudly. He continued, "Kate, you wait for my good news at home. I'll give you a very satisfying answer tonight." With that, Vlad walked out the door, full of confidence. "Vlad, please be careful," Kate shouted, feigning concern. The smile on the corner of her lips was slowly showing. Men were truly animals that thought with their lower bodies. She had easily riled him up. It was late at night. The crescent moon shone with a faint silver glow as a black car stopped in front of the Grant mansion. Vlad was the first to get out as the door swung open. He quickly directed his men as they carried a huge burlap sack and rushed into the house. Silently and discreetly, they made their way to a secret room. These were the lupine guards of the Grant family, and the secret room was a place for interrogation. "Open it," Vlad ordered as he sat on a chair, pouring himself a glass of wine. One of the men deftly tore through the sack with a knife. Out tumbled a man, his hair disheveled and wounds visible across his body. It was Hector. "Old man, do you know who I am?" Vlad asked with an icy gaze, swirling the wine in his glass. "Are you Vlad Grant?" Hector took a careful look at him. He was quick to notice that something was amiss. "Hey, you're quite smart. You actually know me." Vlad took a huge gulp of wine and said coldly, "Since you already know who I am, this will be easy. Hand over the treasure map, and I'll spare you." "Treasure map? Ha!" Hector burst out laughing. "Has your patience finally worn thin? I thought you wouldn't want to risk your reputation and reveal yourself." Tyler had been careful while working meticulously to get his hands on the map. He didn't come for the map personally, as he had his own considerations. Plus, he was trying to keep his motives hidden from prying eyes. From the looks of it, the Grant family couldn't wait any longer. "Enough with the nonsense. Surrender the treasure map now or suffer," Vlad shouted. "The treasure map is the Harmon family's most prized possession. Why would I give it to thugs like you?" Hector shot back. "Old man, even in the face of death, you choose to remain stubborn? I'll cut you in half," Vlad yelled. "Everyone dies, so what if I die a few years earlier?" Hector laughed as he kept a calm expression. He looked ready to risk his life. "Fuck. You're putting on a brave front, aren't you? Let me see, are you really that brave, or are you all bark and no bite?" Vlad stood up and picked a boning knife from the torture rack on the wall. It wasn't a huge knife. In fact, it looked small and delicate. Even so, the smaller the torture instrument, the greater the fear it instilled in others. "Can you see this knife? I'll use it to skin you alive. Then, I'll slowly slice your muscles off piece by piece. You will suffer." Vlad snickered cruelly as he flashed the knife in front of Hector, showing off his brutality. "Give me all you've got." Hector remained steadfast and showed no fear. "Very well." With a sinister smile, Vlad raised the knife and stabbed Hector's shoulder. As the knife pierced his flesh, Hector trembled a little as he furrowed his brow. However, he quickly regained his composure, not making a single sound. "Oh wow. You resist quite well. Let's see how long you can keep that up." Vlad seethed with anger as he stabbed Hector 2 more times. In an instant, blood sprayed everywhere. Hector gritted his teeth and remained silent. Regardless, beads of sweat began to appear on his forehead. "Let me ask you again, are you going to surrender or not?" With a cruel expression on his face, Vlad stabbed Hector's shoulder again, and this time, he twisted it around slowly. "If you're a man, kill me now." Hector snorted coldly.